talking? Did I hear you bumbling on about Lee Majors or something? What was that about?
$6 million man.
Yeah.
$6 million man, Lee Majors, right? It was on this very day in 1974. Can you remember that?
74, yeah.
Yeah, the first episode of $6 Million Man went out, okay?
No way.
Yeah, nobody had ever heard of Lee
74,
Majors.
was it?
No, but do you know what Lee Majors was in before $6 Million
Was he
Man?
married to Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah, he was. And he was in a cowboy show called The Big Valley.
Yes.
And he was one of the, like, you know...
I think you could have been a cowboy.
I could have been a cowboy.
What would Porky's name? What would his nickname be if he was a cowboy? Would he be a sheriff or would he be a baddie?
No, I'd be a good guy. I'd be the guy who was riding around, you know, with his six-shooter, getting rid of the villains, you know, because if you think of...
Who's that wee guy with an old like Stumpy? Was it, you know, the man behind?
Yeah.
At Mike Parry 8. Or at talkSPORT, Porky's nickname, would he be a cowboy? Would he be a sheriff?
Yeah.
Or would he be a baddie?
I'd be something like, you know, I'd be called something like the Cincinnati Kid or something like that. You know what I mean? No, I would. Remember that great scene in the Robert Redford.
The Kid's got him. The Kid's got him.
No,
that was The Hustler, wasn't it? No, what was that one? Was it Hustler?
No, Robert Redford and Paul Newman in Raindrops.
Butch
Cassidy, and they're playing cards. And Paul Newman suddenly gets up and says, "Okay, I'll leave it to you, Sundance." And all of a sudden the room freezes. You know, It's the Sundance Kid. I'd be something like that. Maybe not the Sundance Kid.
Who are those guys? That's what they kept saying when they were getting chased. Who are those guys?
Yeah, I wouldn't be the Sundance Kid. I'd be somebody like maybe, you know, I don't know what they call me, the Moonrise Kid or something like that, you know. But there we are. I was going to say, Al,
I've got it.
What?
These guys are quick.
Why?
They are so good.
Why?
Mike Parry, Porky Allen, he'd be sheriff, the short arm of the law.
That's very nice, isn't it? You see, that's all down to you saying this all the time. Yeah, short arms. His cowboy name would
Parry, his cowboy name would be Short Arms Parry.
Says
Thank
Jason.
you, Jason. Thank you, Step.
But actually, there's a guy called Ben McIntyre who is an old colleague from the Times. He did a study of cowboys, right? Because he's a very highly intellectual boy, and he came up with the conclusion that cowboys weren't actually cowboys. They didn't have guns, didn't go around shooting each other. They couldn't shoot straight anyway. They never drew against each other because they couldn't hit each other from 30 yards.
What?
The gun barrels were mostly bent, okay? Sometimes the gun barrels blew up in their face. They didn't ride around on horses because nobody could afford a horse.
What about the legend of Jesse James?
Yeah, well,
the Alamo?
Yeah, well, that was Davy Crockett, wasn't it, the Alamo? But nobody could afford a horse in those days. Horses were very, very expensive. Only, like, elite members of society had them. It's a bit like, you know, in the 1920s, only very few people had a car because nobody could afford one. Well, in the Wild West, only a few people could afford a horse. So most cowboys were just stumble bums who...
Stumble bums?
Yeah, stumble bums who staggered around.
Out of the saloon?
Out of the saloon and, you know, muddy, filthy, potholed streets and all that kind of stuff, you know. And it wasn't at all as glamorous as riding around on a horse charger, firing a rifle in one hand and a revolver in the other. That didn't happen. By the way, you know...
Porky, Wyatt Twerp. Wyatt Twerp.
That's a bit harsh. You know, we played that Take That song, but except that Gary Barlow wasn't singing. It was the other guy, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mark who?
Owen, was it
Mark Owen, yeah. I was going to say, last time we were in America, Mike and I went to do that show. Did I tell you we went to Strawberry Fields near the Dakota where Lennon got shot, talking about getting the wrong singer. And there was a poor guy in there who was homeless. He had no teeth. He had a guitar, beaten up guitar with only 4 strings, and it wasn't a bass guitar, you know.
Well, Mike's cousin.
It could have been Mike's cousin, yeah. I think he'd known Mike Graham in the past. And he wanted some money, and he waved his cup at me. And I said, all right, so, well, go and play John Lennon's song, and I'll give you some money. So he started playing Let It Be. So I had to point out to him, that's not a John Lennon song. He says, well, I said, that was written by Paul McCartney. He said it was a Beatles song. I said, yeah, but this is John Lennon. This is Strawberry Fields. This is the Dakota. This is where John Lennon was shot. Play me a John Lennon song. He said, all right. He stopped.
I bet you give him money because you're a sucker for that.
I did, but then he started playing Hey Jude. I said, no. Anyway, in the end, I gave him the $10. I was telling the story to Mike Graham last night about the priest at Royal Liv and St Anne's, who hit me for 50 quid every day.
Oh
Remember?
yeah, Adrian.
Adrian, the Hindu priest.
No, he was a monk.
He's a monk. Yeah, he's a monk. Yeah, he's a monk. He ran a like a monastery, didn't he, in Dundee?
Well, he was trying to show you the light, Porky.
Yeah, he was trying to show me the light. Yeah, wasn't an awful lot of light in the champagne tent on those particular days.
Hare Krishna, eh?
It was
12:28. We're back.
Guranga. That's what he used to get me to chant.
Karang.
No, Guranga.
Guranga.
Guranga. Guranga. In
That's it,
a
Guranga,
piece.
yeah.
In a piece.
Yeah.